you've committed to using Canvas as your standards-based gradebook. This means that you will be attaching standards-based outcomes to your assignments. You will then use rubrics and SpeedGrader to produce grades and assess mastery learning. Your grading scheme will have to be set to a proficiency-based scale that will produce a grade equivalency for the points-based gradebook. At the end of the grading period, you will manually record final scores into Infinite Campus. All of your outcomes will be visible in the Mastery Gradebook to you, your students, and your parents throughout the entire grading period. First things first, we need to make sure to check on a few background settings. You should have already selected your assignment groups and weighted each group according to your department or district recommendations. You can view these categories and percentages on the assignments page or click on the settings wheel in the upper right-hand corner. There's one more thing before we start. Go down to your course settings. About halfway down the settings page, be sure to check the box Enable Course Grading Scheme. Then click to set the grading scheme. Here you should see your proficiency grading scale. If you still have a default scale, please select another scheme. Choose your proficiency grading scheme from the list. Be sure you see the scale that you need. Then choose Use this grading standard. Finally, be sure to update your course details. Your gradebook should be ready to go. From this gradebook view, you can see that there are already some assignments in progress. You can also see the groups and group weights that will be assessed throughout the grading period. For this video, we're going to assume that you already know how to make an assignment. There are a couple settings that we need to review. Because there are going to be 2 outcomes attached to this assignment, it will be worth 8 points. Remember, the points will be calculated using the proficiency grading scheme selected earlier. In this case, the assignment group is going to be a formative assessment, and we're going to display the score as a letter grade. This will show up as points and an adjusted letter grade in the gradebook view. What we need to do is attach a rubric to this assignment and choose the outcomes to be assessed. At the bottom of the assignment page, click on Add Rubric. Canvas automatically gives you a blank rubric. Carefully name your rubric so that you'll be able to find it in the future. Using the title of the assignment might be a good idea for now. We need to add outcomes to this rubric to be assessed using SpeedGrader. Click on Find Outcomes. This teacher has already uploaded their standards into their Canvas course. In this case, we're looking for 2 different outcomes. Once we selected our outcomes, it is very important that we have the box checked, Use as criterion for scoring. This will apply a decaying average to the scores in the Mastery Gradebook. Now we need to go back and attach our second outcome. Again, making sure that the criteria for scoring is checked. Be sure to delete any default criteria that may be attached to your rubric. Finally, you need to make sure to check the box Use this rubric for assessment grading. This will now apply your scoring to both the Mastery Gradebook and the Points Gradebook using your standards-based grading scheme. Update your rubric, and now you're ready to score. Now let's see how your assignments will score in SpeedGrader. As students submit their assignments, all teachers need to do is click on the rubric to record proficiencies for each outcome assessed. Scores are automatically calculated in the gradebook using your proficiency grading scheme selected earlier. SpeedGrader will then display an accurate letter grade based on that grading scheme. The Mastery Gradebook will calculate decaying average for each outcome after the second time it's been graded. SpeedGrader will also allow for decimals. The rubric will not show the green color like it does for whole numbers, but scores and outcomes will be calculated in each gradebook. Within SpeedGrader, teachers will be able to give feedback in a variety of ways. They can use text, voice-to-text, video, audio, or leave comments right on student submissions. In the gradebook view, you can see all the scores for the assignments. Because we chose to view letter grade, teachers will be able to see both the letter grade and the total point value given for each assignment. Students will only be able to see the letter grade. You can also see the breakdown for all the categories in this course and the total scores for each student in the course. In the Learning Mastery Gradebook, you can see progress on the outcomes that you've attached to the assignments in your gradebook. Because the gradebook is set up as a decaying average, you will need to assess each outcome at least 2 times minimum to show mastery levels. Clicking on the assignment will show the distribution of your students for each outcome, and you can also sort results by clicking on the boxes on the right to see which students are at each level of mastery. So this is your standards-based gradebook. This means that you will be attaching standards-based outcomes to your assignments and using rubrics and SpeedGrader to produce grades and assess mastery learning. At the end of the grading period, you will manually record final scores into Infinite Campus. All of your outcomes will be visible in the Mastery Gradebook to you, your students, and your parents throughout the entire grading period. If you have any questions, contact your task team leaders at the Innovation Help Desk in your school. Thank you.